So this is a very informal overview of the first week of the course, intended just to give you a little bit of help if you're sort of stuck in terms of trying to figure out what to click on and what to do in this first week. I also recognize that for many of you, maybe most of you, this may be the first time you're using Blackboard Ultra, which is the newest uh, iteration of Blackboard, and many other, many faculty are slowly switching over to it for Middlesex, and soon the entire college will be using it. It's much more intuitive, and I hope you can see it is, I think it looks a lot better as well. So it allows us to organize things and in a way that's more intuitive and hopefully easier to navigate. So here's week one of our short story course. You'll see, first of all, I should just show you that all of the weeks you can kind of see, but you won't be able to access them until 2 weeks before their due date. Those are automatically set to become available. So what you will see is that week one and week two are available, and then week three, week four, etc. It says content isn't available, but it will become available. But you know where we're going with this, and you can also see the outline on the syllabus. So that's what we're looking at. So for week one, you can click on this or you can click on this, however you want to do it. Um, and you click on the idea is that the modules go in order. So you should complete these things in order. The first one of every week, I will generally have uh, kind of like a welcome message and give you an idea of what's going to be happening that week. Week one's a bit different than the other weeks because week one, there's it's just there's some things that I want to do in week one regarding just the structure of the course and how to do things um, that we won't be doing in the following weeks. After week one, each week will be focusing on just one story, and so the introductory material will be focusing on that story as opposed to talking about the course, then talking about the story and all that stuff. But for this week, you read through this introductory material, very brief. I've tried to keep everything as brief as possible. Listen to this song that introduces all the stories, or most of the stories in the course in song form. We can thank generative AI for the ability to do that fairly easily. You have the weekly pattern of what most weeks will be like, though this week is again a little bit different. And then the week one tasks. So you're going to introduce yourself, and then you're going to review the course materials and really review the syllabus. You don't actually have to submit anything for this one, but it is a task that I want you to do. Um, for the third thing, you want to go into perusal and complete that assignment. And perusal assignments, they exist outside of Blackboard. But the grades then will automatically be transferred over. Well, not automatically. I will be able to automatically transfer them over, but I go through Monday of the following week to do that. So you won't see submissions for these things in Blackboard, but you will be able to see perusal annotations in perusal. And then the final thing is to read and reflect on this short story, Reunion by John Cheever. So I'm just kind of throwing you into it. I want you to read it, or even better, to listen to it. I think the audio of this and the New Yorker podcast is really strong, and even Richard Ford's discussion of the story is a good starting point for some of these things. So that's basically you're going to go through that piece. Okay. Now another thing I can show you is that when you've completed something, if it's not something you submit, you can just check it off. And so this will help you complete all of those things that you need for the week. And that's for your own purposes, really. Now, as you saw listed in the thing, the first thing to do is to introduce yourself. So you can read this. You'll click here. Uh, I'm not going to scroll down because 7 people, I think, have already completed this one. and I don't really want to show that in the video, although there's no reason why I shouldn't. But you can read this explanation. I do want you to include some sort of a photo there, whether it's to update your profile pic for the course and for all of Blackboard, that's probably ideal, or you can just upload an image in your response. And you type your response in here, and you would change this. Because I'm a student user, I don't have my image here, though as a faculty member, you will see my picture there. So I have updated that. So just kind of go through that. You can read through other people's. You can respond if you want. It's not a requirement to respond to the introductions, but it is a requirement that you complete the introduction and have an image for that. Okay. The syllabus. So I can't check. Oh, wait a second. I shouldn't be able to check that off unless I submit it, but I guess it's letting me. So that's a little bit confusing maybe for your purposes. So don't check things off until you completed them. Again, those checking things off is for your own purposes, not for my purpose. I see what you submit, not the check marks. But let's say you did complete this, you can check it off, and that helps you know what you need to do. Okay, then I would review the syllabus. You can click on this. That will just take you to the syllabus. I can't check it off until I click on it. You can see the syllabus here, read through that. Very fascinating stuff. Can check that off. Okay. Then the fourth thing listed was to making the most of perusal. Now this is a link. This will take you outside of the course. It will take you to perusal. And you'll be in here and you want to follow these directions. So once you click in, you've automatically created an account in perusal, and you'll read through this and make sure to do what it asks you to do on the page. So it says, like this is a comment. And then you would go to the next part. And then it gives you some directions here. So like click on this text and indicate which of the above comments. So you would click on that and essentially enter your comment here. Notice this week you won't be able to see other students' comments because of the type of assignment. But on everything going forward, when we're reading the stories, each of the stories will have a perusal piece. You'll be able to see other students' comments. And I will talk about that a little bit in future weeks. But basically, my suggestion is you read through the story on your own first, print it out, even maybe get audio version of it. And then after you've come up with some of your own ideas and notes, then go into the text, the electronic version, and write your own comments, respond to other people's comments. That's going to be our main discussion avenue for this online asynchronous course, is through perusal. And so it's a really useful tool, especially for this modality of a course. So you go through that, you follow those directions. You should be able to see your comments in there. And like I said, on Mondays, usually I'll go in, kind of review the comments, and then transfer them over to Blackboard's, the scores over to Blackboard. So let's say I completed that, which obviously I didn't, but 4 or 5 complete. And then the last piece for this week is the week 1 reflection. Click on that piece. I have to click on view instructions, and you read here. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy going for this week. Read the story, reflect on your own experience with short stories, and put together some sort of a reflection piece there. And then you would submit that. So all of that work, this one, it won't let me check off. So I guess assignments, I can't check off unless I complete it, submit something, but for discussions, for some reason, it will let me. So all of the work this week and all of the work every week is going to be due on Saturday. And so it's your job to pace yourself during the week, set aside time to do things, obviously before Saturday, so everything's not being done at the same time. But that's the due date. It makes it simpler for everybody. And yeah, and hopefully as we go forward with the course after the first week, you'll get into a rhythm. because every week is sort of similar in its structure. I've tried to, as I said in my intro, tried to simplify things in the structural aspect so that all of our thinking and brain work will go into the reading of the stories and thinking about the stories and not in trying to figure out the course. So I tried to simplify it as much as possible in every way possible. Um, from the structure of each week to even just doing one story per week, and doing it in chronological order, with the exception again of week one. So I hope that was somewhat helpful, and that you enjoy playing around with this in this course and reading these stories.